is ATL Day Ones, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
It is ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tanitra. Of course, I'm Jarvis. She's Tanitra. Tanitra, I see you represent with the Atlanta Dream hat on, so I already know what type of day it's going to be right now, right?
Yes.
I understand it is a beautiful day out here today. We got a lot of stuff on board for you. We're going to start off with the top three with Jarvis and T.
Yeah.
And then, we're going to do a deep dive into the Atlanta Braves. What's going on? What are these issues? We're going to have to figure this thing out. And for the culture, it's going to be a hot one for the culture today. All I got to say is two words. Cam Newton. We're going to get into all of that. But before we do that, I want to tell you a little bit about Prize Picks. All right, NBA fans, you know what time it is. Play-in tournament starts tonight. There are going to be a couple teams that we're going to be watching here in Atlanta. If you're looking for a daily fantasy option for the NBA, then you need to try the award-winning app, Prize Picks. Prize Picks. Prize Picks. They say if you say a word 3 times, it'll start to register. So, yeah, if I say it 3 times, you already know what I'm trying to do. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy made easy. I love this, and we know you will too. It's easy to use, y'all. Let me tell you how you do. You pick 2 to 5 players, and then the over-under on their projections, and you can win up to 10 times on any entry. Gee, come on now. Who's giving those type of returns back? I know when I was playing the stock market, I wasn't getting those type of returns. Not on my first try. Come on now. They can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's just that easy. Prize Picks, Prize Picks, Prize Picks. And they offer a variety of options. Prize Pick offers any prop you can think of, some points scored to rebounds and even steals. Prize Picks allows mixed sports entries, and you can also, it doesn't offer NBA. It doesn't just offer NBA. They have options on college basketball, college football, NFL, MLB, soccer, MMA, and more. Whatever sport you want to get down with, that's what Prize Picks offer. Now, for a limited time, y'all, let me tell y'all, now it's really trying to do this, right? Prize Picks has an exclusive, no-brainer offer for all of our users, right? Users can get $50 for free if a player in your first Prize Pick entry scores a single point. Let me repeat that. You get $50 for free if a player in your first Prize Pick entry scores a single point. But you must use code NBA. Use code NBA. Use code NBA. And it's an exclusive offer for just watching Locked On and listening to Locked On YouTube. Make sure you go like and subscribe. And download us on wherever you get your podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, download us, and we'll be right there waiting for you. And yeah, go ahead and use that code because, hey, it's just for y'all. Nobody else. T. Woo! Wow. The Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons. The draft is only almost a couple of weeks away now.
Crazy that it's almost here. Yeah.
It is here. Almost here. It's almost here. And I think one of the things that kind of struck me was a player by the name of Harrison Smith. For those you don't know, he is one of the best safeties in the entire NFL. And I thought he said something that kind of really stuck out to me a little bit. And I want to start off with this quote, and I want to get your reaction, right? And then we can kind of dig into it just a little bit. That's big selfishly for secondary players. This is it as far as bringing in guys. They brought in a lot of edge rushers, people who can rush the quarterback, right? And, this is the safety talking. All right. He said that's big selfishly for secondary players. If you can get to the quarterback, disrupt the quarterback, make it a little harder on him, it's important. We all know it's a quarterback-driven league.
Yes.
It's a quarterback-driven league. So you got to make them uncomfortable back there. I think we've done quite a good job of getting guys in here to do that.
Yes.
T, I want to hear Terry Fontenot say the exact same thing come draft day. He knows Harrison Smith, who's a safety, knows exactly what needs to happen in order for them to get back to defense. They've had some issues past couple years. He knows exactly what needs to happen in order for them to be a really good, formidable defense. So shouldn't Terry Fontenot be saying the same thing?
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. And listen, I think that for me, and I heard someone say earlier today on a show that one of the spaces that they'd be okay with in that number 8 pick, or one of the positions, we'll say,
Right.
was safety. No, it was corner. And I said, no. I said that's actually one of the spaces where the Falcons are decent. Like
Yeah.
secondary, yeah, the secondary, AJ Terrell is way, more than decent.
We know where he's going to be. Yep.
Yeah, you know what it is. You knew what it was from day one, and he is not disappointed. He has truly gotten better with time. And you're hoping for the same thing with Richie Grant. We started to see some shades for
Right.
him in the secondary, and there are too many names to mention as far as veteran corners who can kind of give you something at least for 1 year, or even veteran safety. So I think the secondary is shored up just in terms of bringing that second level of pressure. Can we get back down to the first level of pressure and the importance of getting somebody on the edge that's going to put the fear of God into that quarterback who's trying to get to the second level, especially with his feet, right?
Right.
So yeah, absolutely. Like you said, I hope that Terry Fontenot is thinking the same thing, and that whole organization is thinking the same thing. You look at somebody like Dean Pease, who has such an amazing pedigree. And I know personally, I hope that his voice is heard in the war room, or as they're approaching that final day of going into the war room, in terms of what the needs are for his, not just for his base 3-4, because like we've talked about before, yes, that's the base package that they run, but you know him, he'll run anything at anybody at any time, because like he said, anybody can blitz, everybody can blitz. So, and he'll put all kinds of packages there if he thinks two things. If he thinks that you have the football IQ to be able to pull off the stunts that he wants you to, and if he thinks you've got the talent. Well,
Right.
Dean Pease doesn't quite have the talent that he
Yeah,
needs
why
to
you have
work
the
with,
talent?
especially in the trenches. So yeah, absolutely. If you can get your defense back in order, because think about it. In most instances, I'll even give you a Hall of Famer like Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
When he was on the downside of his career and he was more of an adequate quarterback than a Hall of Famer, who won the Super Bowl for him? His defense. And how they win it? In
Von
the trenches
Miller.
with Von Miller. Exactly. Leading the way. And then who helps the Rams get it done again? And not to say anything against Matt Stafford, but once again, who really set the tone? Aaron Donald and Von Miller. So you got to get it right with your defense. I think Harrison Smith definitely said a word there.
Yeah, it is a word for the times. If I can use an old adage there, I'll just say this, for those of the people who are just falling all in love with Kyle Hamilton, just listen to a guy who plays the position in the league. He knows exactly what it takes in order for a defense to be successful. So yeah, let's start at the base. Let's start at the foundation. Stop trying to put some fancy windows and a fancy deck and everything. Get all that stuff before you take care of the foundation. Get you
Yes.
some boys that can touch that quarterback. All right, T. There's some important games coming on tonight. The Hawks gonna play them tomorrow night against the Charlotte Hornets here at State Farm Arena.
Yes.
But tonight, Cavs, Nets is going down. So I think a lot of eyeballs should be on who wins that game, because I think it's going to be very important as to whether or not the Hawks play at home on Friday once they win against the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, and the Nets are the favorites in that game, still favored by 7.5 points, because when you have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on the other side, and rumblings of Willie won't he, but they're kind of putting Ben Simmons out there like he could possibly play, if you will. They are matchup nightmares for
Yes,
anybody
they are.
in the
Yes,
league at
they
any
will.
given moment. And the Cavs, unfortunately for them, are still dealing with injuries with Jared Allen, and even Evan Mobley is hobbled a bit for them.
Yes,
So
that's
when you
huge.
look, so when you look at who could really do it for them, yes, they still have Darius Garland, and he's still going to be an absolute threat. But when you start looking deep onto that roster, or even like a Kevin Love who's coming off the bench for them and often, gives people still nightmares, and fits to this day matchup wise, I still like what I see with the Nets. However, I am hopeful that somehow Darius Garland can dictate the flow of this game and win, because the Hawks have beaten the Cavs 3 times. And that's one of the teams that I can truly say the Hawks have their number. Whereas with
Right.
the Nets, although the Hawks won the last game, the Nets kind of have the Hawks number. So yeah, really here. I mean, I love what Travis Slink said on one of the shows on 92.9 earlier today, where he said, we don't care who we play. We just want to win, basically, is what he said. Like,
Right. Yeah.
we'll play anybody,
Yeah.
because if we're playing, that means we won Wednesday. So we don't really care which one of them, is essentially going. But yeah, I definitely am looking forward to that game. We'll have an eye on that as it impacts the Hawks, but also we'll have an eye on the play-in game in the Western Conference, which will have the Clippers facing up against the Wolves, because Anthony Edwards has really, again, taken his game up the next level and done some great things over with the Wolves. And Karl Anthony Towns, they have a nice little base. They've been, making some noise over there in the Western Conference. Now, juxtaposed to the Clippers, they're starting to gain their momentum back. Actually won 5 straight. So that game will be interesting to me to see as well. Clippers, I believe, are favored in that game. But yeah, I'll be watching that one, just because, like we said, we have that local talent who's going to be showing up for the Wolves. And then, of course, you have the Clippers.
Yeah, I think Karl Anthony Towns kind of had the rabbit ears. I think he heard people, using that 4-letter word, soft. I can say it on.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about
Oh, I knew. Yeah, I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Certain people don't like that, and I definitely understand that. If people call you soft, like, you gonna do everything in your power. That is a trigger for him, and you can definitely tell he's been on one this year. So yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. With the local Ant-Man, and also definitely who will come out on top in that Cavs Nets matchup as well. But before we get out of here, T, I definitely have to talk about the Atlanta Dream had the number 1 overall pick.
Yes.
Ryan Howard, not Ryan Howard from the Philadelphia Phillies. Right. Ryan Howard out of Kentucky was the number 1 overall pick for the Atlanta Dream last night. It was a lot. They actually traded up to go get that number 1 overall pick. So that means they knew exactly who they wanted, T, and they got their person.
Yes.
Who they wanted to trade.
Exactly.
I was going to stop myself. You know what I was about to say? I was like, they got that man. No.
Yeah. I just used got their player, to be safe.
They got that player, yes.
Yeah, they got the player that they wanted. Yeah. The Dream, about 6 days ago, traded up from the 3rd spot to from the Mystics having the number 1 there. And so did a little trade, if you will. And what I like about it is I think both teams won in that trade, if you will. Right. So I think that's always a good thing, where you don't feel like you're giving up everything mortgaging everything to get who you want, but that it actually is a trade that benefits both. And that's what I expect from Morgan Shaw Parker leading that team, and from Renee Montgomery, one of the owners, and from GM Dan Padover, who is a 2-time WNBA Executive of the Year, done phenomenal things with the Aces. So you're starting to see them put the pieces in place, putting pieces in place like with Ryan Howard at the shooting guard position, and also giving, Ari McDonald, who unfortunately got injured last year and missed a clip of the season, but man, was she showing us some amazing things with what she was able to do. And even in their second pick at number 15, being able to pick Naz Hillman, she's another one who absolutely is amazing at what she's been able to do and accomplish. She reminds me of a Renee Montgomery, like just grinding, just hard worker, doing her thing as well. So I'm excited about what we're going to see on the court with the Dream this year. But also congratulations to Lorella Kubaj over at Georgia Tech, who is their first draft pick in a number of years as well. Helped them to get to the NCAA tournament the last couple years. So excited that program is seeing some success. And Jarvis, we would be remiss if we did not mention Jackson State's own Amisha Williams-Holiday getting drafted, first HBCU player in 20
years. That's a long time. It is too long. And when you think about it, there's the way Jackson State had just been exploded on the scene.
Yes.
People talk about what Deion Sanders has done for their football team.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about what he's done for that entire school.
Yes.
They've been landing some big time prospects, and for Amisha to get drafted, man, props to her.
Yes.
I think that is amazing. And we think you are amazing for watching us on ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tanitra. But
Yes.
coming up next, though, the Braves got spanked last night. We'll discuss. That's next on ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tanitra. We'll see you on the other side.